ASEAN leaders meeting in Bangkok, Thailand want to finish a binding code of conduct in the South China Sea within 3 years or earlier. This is what the 10-country group said in its ASEAN Common Statement for the 22nd ASEAN-China Summit that was read by President Rodrigo Duterte. Chief Presidential Legal Counsel and Presidential Spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the Philippines was tasked as the country coordinator for the ASEAN-China dialogue relations. More details from Mark Vitalco.
President Rodrigo Duterte called for the early conclusion of a binding code of conduct for the South China Sea. During the ASEAN-China Summit here in Thailand, he also urged the claimant countries in the disputed area to exercise self-restraint. The chief executive also reiterated his call to avoid doing action that would heighten uncertainty and instability, including land reclamation, militarization of features, and paramilitary actions.
From what I observed, they're very concerned of what is happening in the South China Sea. That is why all countries have asked everyone to observe self-restraint, to avoid any activity that could lead to more friction and even armed hostilities between and among countries in the region.
The presidential spokesperson also stood firm to remain silent on the latest incident near the Scarborough Shoal involving a Chinese ship and the Liberian ship oil tanker manned by Filipino captain. In a statement, Panelo asserted that the employment of more than 400,000 deployed Filipino seafarers and mariners will be at risk if we are to invoke our sovereignty to protest this incident. He earlier assured that this is not a big deal and did not affect the negotiations on the Code of Conduct for the South China Sea. Meanwhile, on the last day of the 35th ASEAN Summit, the president has been so busy attending the related summits. During the 22nd ASEAN Plus 3 Summit earlier this morning, Duterte welcomed the efforts made by Asia's major economies like China, Japan, and South Korea in ASEAN's development. In the afternoon during the special lunch on sustainable development, he told developed nations to stop shipping garbage to developing Asian countries. At the sidelines of the ASEAN Summit and related summits, President Duterte met with Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe for a bilateral meeting. Here, Duterte apologized for cutting short trip to Japan for the new emperor's enthronement. He also condoled with Abe on the death of his countrymen during the typhoon Hagibis. The president is thankful for Japan's support to the Philippines, such as in the creation of the Bangsamoro region in Mindanao, the Manila subway, as well as the nation's air assets. Meanwhile, Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez represented the president during the 3rd RCEP summit. To recall, the chief executive called for the early conclusion of the RCEP, which is beneficial for the greater market access and growth of the nation's economy. Out of the 16 RCEP countries, only the India has some concerns on the 20 chapters of RCEP. ASEAN targets to finalize the free trade agreement by February 2020. Mark Fetalco for The Nation.